is awesome. Excuse you. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I'm not Alkali, but he wanted. Yeah. So Alkali said, I can't do an hour and a half alone. I can't even drink enough to get ready for an hour and a half alone. So he sent me up here to kind of stall while he gets his first 1, 2, 3 in to prep himself up. So this is Alkali. Yeah.
What is that?
A beer! What the hell is it called beer?
That is not beer. Come here and I got a real one for you.
I gotta go.
Oh, God. So Alkali is busy backstage getting prepared.
I am preparing!
He asked me to come out and welcome up our
A
Lord.
real one.
I don't know. A lot of pockets I gotta go.
So I have been to Megaplex about 10 times. Both the performers you're about to see have never been here before, so I know what you guys can do. Please give them the warmest welcome you can. Show them the way that we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, opening up for Alkali tonight, my good friend, a great performer, you saw him in Anthrocon. Please welcome Pandez.
Back here is where you would like me to stand?
Purple.
Okay.
As if mom is
Between the tikis. Yes, I am the god of snacks. The fifth very large tiki. There's 2, 2, 1. Oh. So this is my first time here at Megaplex. This is fantastic. Woo! You guys are awesome. So, gotta ask you guys a question real quick. Who here's come up with a sex move after watching a Pixar movie? Not as many as you as I would have thought. That kind of happened to me a couple years back. Coming up with a dating. I know what you're thinking. Sex and cartoons. Who would equate those together? And Alkali is deleting his evidence. I went to go see a particular cartoon, and my friends were like, oh, that was so heartwarming, so charming, and I was like, yeah, I came up with a sex move. That's how you have to say it when that happens, by the way. I came up with a sex move. And the movie was Wreck-It Ralph. I know what you're thinking, you don't normally put the two together. It's not like, I come home from a date and my friends are like, hey, so how was this evening? And I'm like, well, at the end of the date, I pretty much thought nothing was going to happen. I thought everything was frozen, if you know what I mean.
Let it go.
Don't take his lines!
Fine, no beer for you.
Take his lines! Give me the beer!
Stop throwing me off, man. But yeah, so everything was going great, and then all of a sudden, she makes a move for controlling interest of my Monsters Incorporated. We go inside and start getting tangled on the couch. Things were starting to look up. Took off her shirt, there were her Incredibles. All I could think was, oh, I'm gonna train this dragon. But when I went to find her Nemo, it was A Bug's Life! So I got the heck out of there and went home to a Toy Story. But I did unfortunately, I came up with a move and I'm gonna share it all with you this evening. It's when you're...
What's the rating?
What's the rating?
Safe.
PG. Pretty good. Alkali has told me that he considers this PG, so I'm gonna go with that.
He's not drunk enough yet.
It's when you're about to finish and you decide, you know what? You ball up your fist, yell, I'm gonna wreck it, and punch them right in the sensitive area. Don't do this move. If you want a surefire way to never date that person again or anyone they know, don't do this move. There might be one time when it's acceptable to pull off this move. If you're breaking up with them and they don't know you're about to break up with them. Oh, this is just fantastic. Oh, yeah, it really is combo breaker. Relationship fatality. You win? So, now that we've talked about, that particular subject, let's move along to something, something just as ridiculous and crazy. Let's talk about my mom. Oh, if you knew my mom is adorable. She's a lovely little old lady. Mom Des, I like to call her, to my friends in the fandom. Mom Des, she gets into trouble from time to time. She originally grew up in Britain, so she came over when she was like 20 years old to start teaching here in North America, and she's done a few things that the language was a little bit different. You've got ones that a lot of people know, like, oh, over there, chips, well, that's French fries, and over here, chips, well, that's like, Lay's and stuff. Well, she went into a pharmacy to purchase some school supplies for her kids, and, I need some pencils and some pens, and she wants to pick up some, what we would call here, erasers. In Britain, erasers goes by another term. So she went up to the pharmacist and goes, yes, I need some rubbers for my elementary school class. And the pharmacist was, what? Yes, if possible, I'd like some with some cartoon characters on them. I don't think they have those,
We would.
Pardon me, I need to grab my phone. She tends to get into a little trouble from now to time. Like, we were all out for dinner together. I've been working out, losing some weight, I used to be a fair bit heavier. And, my family was really, really excited about it. Like, oh, you're working out, keep working out and working out those bis and those tries and, oh, those pecs and those glutes. And my mom decides to yell, and your sphincter! Did I mention we were at a restaurant when this happened? The entire restaurant turns to go, why did that little old lady yell sphincter? And my mom's like, what's the matter? And we're like, why did you yell that? Well, it's a muscle. I heard it on one of my medical shows. I'm like, you're not technically wrong, but I'm fairly certain that is not a muscle that my trainer's gonna help me work out. I don't think so. She also, there's different gestures between over there and over here that are inappropriate. I won't do them on stage, but I'm sure you all know the one that typically Alkali tends to do every 5 seconds with his hand, randomly. Yes, that one. The bird is the word. Well, once again, I was there with my family, and we got onto an elevator, and as the doors were about to close, someone was like, wait. So we held the door open and go, yes, how can we help you? She's like, oh, is this elevator going down? And we're all like, no, we're going up. And the lady, she just got suddenly so offended, like, and we're like, what the heck just happened? What was with that? And as the elevator doors close, we hear my lovely mother going, what's the finger you don't point with here? And we're all in the elevator still doing this. And we turn to look at her in the front, who is doing this, but not like this. So of course we're like, Mom, you just flipped that lady off. And now she thinks our whole family just flipped her off. Like, we're just like that family, like, we're going up. But, oh my goodness. I'm blanking. I had another thing I was going to talk about, but I think what we need to do is bring Fur back out so he can get the person you're really here to see tonight up on stage. Fur?
What?
Get out here!
1 second, put on our hats.
No.
Okay.
All right, so that's my time. I hope you enjoyed my brief introduction up here, but I think they need to be loud, right? Like they need to.
Yeah, I think it was not loud enough.
No, I think we need to hear. They need to hear you in the dealer's den.
Yeah.
For the person that's coming out here, you know who it is. Who is it?
Alkali! Go back. You guys, you don't understand, because Alkali, this is your first time here, right?
That's correct.
This is Alkali's first time here, so you don't just understand how large and loud of a man this is. So ladies and gentlemen, please, just so we can get a baseline level versus the entire crowd, give it to me as loud as you can. Please put your hands together for Alkali!
My hands hurt.
Oh boy. Just so you know, what just happened, that'll be the best part of the night. That cheer, that's going to overshadow anything that I can possibly do up here. Because, as he said, I've never been here before. I have never had the opportunities to tell you guys stories. Like that time we were bad at sleeping. In fact, I legitimately think all three of these stories are about how shitty we are at sleeping. That's good. Oh good, I already screwed up the PG-13 thing. Thanks. Thanks, Des. We have been sitting backstage like, all right, all we have to do is not say the 7 deadly words. I'm like, what are them? And we went over them like 5 times backstage. Because that's the way not to say something, by saying it repeatedly behind a curtain. I run something called Nero. Nero's a live-action role-playing game. That basically means that me and my friends get together every few weekends and beat the crap out of each other with plumbing supplies. It's gloriously fun. Well, I've been running this game for quite some time, and we have something called a 3-day event. Allow me to describe to you from the player's aspect what a 3-day event is. You show up on the site, you get into character, you play the game for 3 days. Sounds fun, right? I used to love 3-day events. But then I ran them. Allow me to tell you what it's like when you run a 3-day event at Nero. You arrive on Thursday and you die. Like 400 times, because that's the purpose of being one of the bad guys at Nero. But you actually get to sleep. At night when people are sleeping, you're setting up for the next day. So it's Sunday. Now we didn't have beds at Nero. Beds are not how we slept. We had human shelving units, and I missed them. They weren't comfortable at all, but you felt secure in them because if they collapsed, there was just enough of a lip on them that it was just a coffin. You know, how you want to sleep. This far from a coffin. Well, we had been up since Thursday. It was finally Sunday night. And we went into the plot office. Now, the plot office is a room that is smaller than this stage. And in this room was one human shelving unit consisting of 3 beds. It's made of plywood. It's sturdy enough. I'm a very large man. I'm not even climbing to the second shelf. I am about a foot off the ground on shelf number 1. My friend John, some of you may know him, Beardo the Magnificent, he is on shelf 2. And PHB, a gentleman whose nickname is Pale-Haired Bastard. We think he is half albino. We know he can't go into the sun. This gentleman, all 89 pounds of him, climbed up to sleep on the 3rd human shelving unit. And in the bed with a mattress that we all wanted, was Tim and Hannah, the couple, finally crawling into bed. It's been 3 days. We've been showering in well water. Tim has decided it is time to go all natural and has crawled into the bed. His wife made this noise. Oh, this is familiar. We reminded him that there were more people in the room. Now the thing about Nero is, it's the same as a fur con. You get on this high. It's amazing. After you do this for days and days, you are on cloud 9. You've pulled it off. You've conquered the world. So we were having a little bit of trouble falling asleep. We're goofing around, but slowly in the room, like a wave from the ocean, sleep overtook us. And that sleep was slowly washing up my body until I was attacked by Godzilla. Now, I don't actually know if it was Godzilla, but in my mind, I was being attacked by an 80-foot lizard. What it turned out to be was a June bug. Because let me explain something to you. If you're about ready to go to sleep and a June bug lands on your naked shoulder, it is Godzilla and you need to fight for your life. I am in a human shelving unit. Can you tell? Take a look at the sign here. Where's my center of gravity? Nowhere. I am too fat to have a center of gravity. My center of gravity is in Kansas. It's a twister, it's a turnaround, I'm gonna fall down. So I tried to get out of the bunk, and as this June bug landed on me, I sat up in the human shelving unit. We didn't have mattresses on the human shelving unit. We put down a blanket underneath us for something that we were like, this is like pretending that there's some kind of a padding. So when my head slammed into the human shelving unit above me, it woke up John, who slammed his head into the human shelving unit above him. I turned around trying to get out of the bunk bed, but I can't because it is this far off the ground. And at this point, all I want to do is leave. So I slam my head against the brace, getting out of the bunk bed. John, who is now realizing what's going on, looks over but can't because all of a sudden there's albinos falling from the ceiling. BHB had decided to figure out what all the noise was, fell out of his bed, past John, past me, onto the floor, startling me. I tried to stand up, no center of gravity, went head first into the bed, where my friend and his wife were naked. And the last thing I remember before my near heart attack of laughter is John, from the second bunk, rubbing his forehead going, yes, Dan, the only safe place is Tim's ass. Burrow, Dan, burrow. Sleep is hard. Sleep is very hard because you do need to be in the mood to sleep. You can't just go to sleep. Is there anyone here who can just go to sleep? Raise your hands. I can't see you. There's spotlights. None of you can do that. See, that was amazing. That was 100% right. Thank you, AB. And guys, seriously, think, no, I'm wrong now. Thank you, AB, until that very moment. We're not good at it, especially me and my friends. But there's an old saying, all of you know it, the show must go on. Well, there was a night, the show must go on. We had finished up Nero. We got in my car. We had been up for, I believe, and I apologize if I'm wrong, I think we were at 40 hours. Now, there's something I will tell all of you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you are ever so tired that when you sit in a car, you're like, this is as comfy as a bed, don't drive. So I started driving. My friend, who knows that he's going to have to take over, it's a 3-hour drive, he's like, I'm going to take a nap. So that's a good idea. I didn't turn on music. And I got on to Route 65. Some of you are from the Midwest. Allow me to describe Route 65 to you. For a moment, everyone, close your eyes. Okay, that's Route 65. Route 65 has nothing. Remember the old sign? Next sign, 200 miles, that's Route 65. There is nothing. It is the middle of the night, 2 in the morning. My friend is asleep. The radio is not on. And there's a school bus in front of me. Oh, no. I don't like school buses. I'm from Chicago. Do you know how we drive in Chicago? Recklessly. School buses are not something that I want to be behind. I have a long drive ahead of me. I'm not going to be trapped behind a school bus. I'll get around the school bus. So I hit the acceleratrix. I forgot the word for acceleratrix. Great. That's my new word for it. I push the acceleratrix and we start going faster. And the bus paces me. Well, I'm not having any of this. There is still much room between the acceleratrix and the floorboards, which are apparently part of a car now. So I pushed harder. And so did the bus. It took a while. It took a while for me to think about my situation. And then I finally looked at my speedometer. My speedometer tops out at 120. I thought, did you know it could go past the needle? I was going what I assumed to be 125 miles an hour down a very straight highway with very few lights and a school bus outpacing me. Have you ever had a moment in your life where realization hits you? Maybe you're doing a math test in school and you finally get long division. Maybe you're doing English and you realize that we have the stupidest language on the planet. We do. Well, I got to experience that moment. And as slowly and as carefully as I could, I pushed the deceletratrix, which is a brake, because I like that word now. I slowed down the car, and I pulled over onto the shoulder, waking up my friend, who was not happy to be woken up. Oh, no, not happy at all. He said, what are you doing? Like, I need you to drive. He's like, why? I said, do you see the school bus in front of us? He goes, no. I said, do you see the yellow lines that separate the lanes? He said, yes. I go, that was a school bus for the last 20 miles. You need to drive now. I had been hallucinating for about 20 miles. Chasing and never once did I think, a bus driver with children probably shouldn't be going 120 miles an hour. All I thought is, I'm going to pass them. Somebody else's turn to drive. No. School kids can drive at 2 in the morning. They're asleep. That sounds like just a blessing in disguise for the bus driver. The wheels on the bus go, drink your juice. All right. And that's the thing. Exhaustion and all that, it makes us relax eventually. Who here just has those days? A day when you get home, you know that the only thing you are going to do is sit down and enjoy an activity. I can't see any of your hands, so I'm assuming all of you have them raised, and one of you is giving me the finger. Great job. I do have one of those. It's a rarity. But every once in a while, I get to sit down and play City Skylines. Oh, good. Some of you know it. If you don't know what it is, allow me to describe it for you. Oh, God. You are God.
Yep.
You can take away people's housing. They don't need hospitals. They're a luxury. Everyone hates me in City Skylines. What City Skylines is SimCity. If you've ever played SimCity before, it is a city simulation building game. You are the mayor, you have a city, you have untold power, build your city. It's an art project, and to me that was more important. I didn't need the game, I needed the outlet for a little bit of creativity, but the game just wasn't quite enough. Because City Skylines has mods. You can go onto the Steam Workshop and download mods. And one day I was sitting in my room. Now you have to understand, I get very into this game. Miko and Xander are playing Rocket League, and they are cussing and swearing as they get a goal. They turn around, I'm cussing and swearing as well, but mine is because everyone's in the right lane of traffic. Why are you always driving in the right lane? I don't care if you need to turn right. You can be in the left lane, get around that school bus, you ass. I downloaded a mod to make the traffic simulation in the game work better. And on this module, there was a toggle. And the toggle said, bad drivers.
I need this.
I installed the mod, I took a look at how it worked. It was beautiful. People were using all lanes of traffic. Bad drivers, though, if you turn it on, 1 out of every so many cars that pop are just reckless drivers and murder people. That was that hospital we were talking about a minute ago. So I figured, you know what, this actually sounds fun. I turned it on. I thought it'd be fun. It was. Every once in a while something would happen. I wouldn't know where the fires came from, and my population would be 1 less. That's funny to me. I'm a jerk. So, the problem, it's not a problem. The part of the game that is most difficult is traffic management. That's why I needed this module. You actually get to the point where you follow cars around to try to learn why people are going to where they are going. And I was doing that. And at one point, I clicked on a hearse.
Oh, no.
I needed to know. All my crematoriums were in one place. The hearses were just roaming the city, causing traffic jams, and I didn't know why. So I had to study. Well, I found out why. In city skylines, a hearse is a little bit bigger than a standard hearse. Because in the real world, the hearse comes, the hearse goes with a body. Allow me to describe to you how it works in city skylines. Number 1, the hearse pulls up outside of your house, blocking all lanes of traffic because they have the same abilities that police do. Including guns, I'm assuming. I named my city Chicago. A lot of people die. The hearse pulls up to your house, it goes into your house, people get out of the hearse, they go into your house, and they come out with a coffin. Which I just assume everyone in city skylines has in their house. Like, here's your living room, here's the curio, there's the coffin that we will eventually use. Oh, nice. What I noticed was, when they get back to the hearse, the coffin just depops. Hearse drivers get back into the car, and while I'm trying to figure out why they're driving in such an outrageous pattern, they made a second stop. Excuse me? They're just piling in bodies. 5. The hearses in city skylines fit 5 corpses, and that was the greatest thing I had ever seen. Because I could just imagine the hearse drivers coming up, little Timmy, heartbroken about Grandma, and the dad's just like, oh, we're the last stop on the line, Timmy, get the Vaseline, Grandma's not gonna fit. I kept watching the hearses because they were causing a huge problem in city skylines. When we built the city, everyone moves in at the same time, they're the same age when they move in. Everybody died on like July 4th. Happy America. That's how we say it now. Happy, I told you this is a stupid language. Well, as I go around watching these hearses, I had to turn up the speed. There are 3 speeds. 1 is, why are you playing the game in this speed? 2 is, hey, there's a faster speed. And 3 is cheetah. You know what cheetah means? They just start taking out frames and just making the game go. So now I'm watching the hearse driving around, but it's so fast, all you're seeing is like, hearse, block traffic, grab body, throw into car, car, get back onto road, throw body into car, go to crematorium, back up, slam on the brakes, body go into the crematorium, go back out, get more body. Okay, I think it's cool. Until bad driver. You see, when a hearse pulls into a crematorium, it depops. It has to repop. Meaning, I have a new hearse. Meaning, it's time to roll the dice. And that hearse, oh, road, what is it from Doc Brown? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Neither do bodies. This hearse driver was by far the greatest driver I have ever seen. It pulled off onto a road and jumped the ramp over the highway onto the other ramp. The Duke boys were going to get those corpses one way or another. It starts going to houses, but it doesn't take the path of least resistance. It's just going through like suburbs on sidewalks. And I have raised sidewalks. The game knows they're raised. Streets go under it. This hearse driver's like, I want a view. It goes up onto the raised sidewalks and just starts murdering everyone. I'm like, that is job security. I'm watching behind him, little pegs show up in the game, like body, 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 body. And all the normal hearse drivers are like, oh, he's at it again. They finally get to the houses. They're just like careening onto people's front lawns, just like drunk drivers anonymous, like, give me Linda, go. They're driving around, and it was fun. It was weird. It was fun. Until they got to the crematorium.
No.
And that's when I realized that he wasn't just a bad driver, he's a genius. He did something that revolutionized the body burning industry. He drove his hearse into the crematorium and it burst into flames. And all I could think of was, well, efficiency. Leave 10% bad drivers on at all times. This is the way to go. Guys, thank you so much. Can I get my two friends back up here? Pandas and Fur. As we're going to do something a little special for you. Obviously, this panel was slated a lot longer. There's another panel that we've done at other conventions. Perhaps you've heard of it. Guys, how would you like us to continue for the rest of our stage time with a little bit of a comedy better when I've had a few with myself, Fur, Pandas? And if I could see into the audience and figure out if he showed up or if he's smart enough not to.
He's back there.
Oh, he's not smart enough not to. Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth for the evening, let's hear it for Pepper Coyote! Give us a moment to reset this and get booze, mostly booze. Oh, thank you for your death booze.
It's not that strong.
No, it's not. That's what.
Wait, we can do that?
I just shit out of chicken. What was that?
I apparently shit out a chicken. Dude, 1 out of every 10. It's 10%. Somebody turn the toggle on.
Are we gonna pass around the hat?
Alkali,
Yo!
did you see the tree on a boat yet?
Did I see a tree on a boat?
About
You are one hell of a botanist! I've not seen the tree on a boat. Kale on a boat? No, I'm blind now.
No, you see a tree about a boat.
A tree about a boat?
Yes.
Oh, dear God, no, we're not telling that story.
Is this one of those NPR riddles? The third syllable, if you change to about a member of royalty, it will have the name of an apple. What is Macintosh? You're like, ah, what? He sits at home with their public radios.
What version of NPR are you listening? All mine is like Trump is a monster, just leave.
We have two levels of puzzles. On Saturday is the Happy Fun Time sticky puzzles with the guy who plays the mandolin. And then on Sunday are the no messing. This is like a G panel, right?
This is PG-13.
Great, put it on the stage. I'm in mid-sentence. I interrupted my own sentence, actually. No swearing. I forgot what I was talking about.
Thank you so much, AV.
Well, the Sunday panels are crazy. I've heard some of those like driving on.
Oh, then on Sunday becomes the no messing around riddles where they're like, if you take a number and multiply it by the square root, and you're like, whoa, I gotta write this down. Like, it's not fun time puzzles. It's sit at home and do adult homework puzzles.
I'm actually super glad you're sitting at home and doing it, because I listened to NPR in my car and I got super confused as to like you pulling out some loose leaf.
I will yell at my passenger like, hurry, get your phone out, write this down.
That is also how you record your music, by the way.
Yeah.
This gentleman was over by my place recently, and all of a sudden, as we're talking a sentence, he goes, everyone, shut up. I had an idea. Get me my phone, paper, pencils, writing utensils. I need 4 calculators. Somebody give me a curio watch and an instrument. I don't care what one. And we all didn't move, and he says, stat means now, but he didn't say stat before that. And then I think stat means now was almost a line in your song because you forgot what you were thinking about.
Now I'm trying to remember how much of this is embellished.
About like 1%.
I occasionally have to sing songs into my cell phone, and everyone has to turn off all music. I don't do that like at parties. I won't be in the theater like, projectionist, deactivate the film. Like, to sing into my cellular phone. But if it's like me and one person like, stop, mute the TV, and I like run in the other room and be like,
then I like hum a thing and have a fucking guitar. And then I include those on the finished albums at the end of them. Bonus content.
This random bonus track. No. There we go.
It genuinely, hold up, just talk for a second, I'll pull one up.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, he has him on his phone.
Don't applaud for this, it's not even good.
Of course he comes with receipts.
Okay, here's something he doesn't understand. I've had to explain this to him before. The creative process to a lot of us is still absolutely amazing. So yes, it is very cool to see how you come up with insanity such as Regline.
Oh, I have the one for Regline.
I know you do. We were drunk and yelling at it. We thought it was a person for a while.
Oh yeah, I'm punching myself. Alright, so that goes on for a while.
This is just a test song.
I was thinking like the Tarzan Phil Collins song as I was trying to recall. Not the You'll Be in My Heart, the other one, the like louder one. I wanna know, can you show? I'm like, oh, that's great. That should be what I do. I should do something good. And I wrote a song about staging the registration. We need to get that frequency out of our lives.
Do we need to
Let's scooch back under the
Will that help? Is that it?
maybe if we're not in front of the microphones.
We figured it out.
Well, no, we need to be in front of the microphones.
Oh, yeah.
The microphones need to be behind the speakers.
No, the microphones need to be in front of us, and the speakers need to be in front of the microphones, and I need to be in front of this some more.
Can this be a TED Talk on stage design?
Today, on building a furry stage at a convention, you want to...
It's a different one now. No one can talk there. You gotta go higher than that.
Can we just write a song right now called Feedback Loop?
It's a what do they call it? The monks,
Gregorian chant.
Gregorian chant. It's a Gregorian.
We don't have to pronounce it right.
No.
We speak English. We don't know any of this crap.
That's fine. That's started English. Drink your beer.
Okay.
By the way, do you like it?
I'm going to say that because that's PG-13. In this fandom, it's the Gregorian chant.
We'll be there later. Oh my!
Oh, only half of you on. The rest of you are on FA right now.
Drop down.
Oh, hey, you know that feeling when you go on FA and go, oh, what's that little S mean? Oh yeah, submissions. How many of those do I have? 26,300. Like, I haven't been on this site in a while. Never mind. It's just a me thing, I guess.
No, it's scarier for the people who have zero. That means every day they wake up, it's like, okay, email, pay bills, porn. That is the order of operation.
Dude, when I first got into this thing, like when I was in college and had a lot of free time, I would check FA on my phone like I do Twitter now. Like every second.
Oh, yeah.
I would just go, oh, that number was constantly at zero. Like, oh, 3 new arts. And I would like study them, leave a comment, like a thing, talk to my guy, respond to notes, and then be like, cross the street. It was weird. And now I'm like, we have to talk about socialism on my phone, and that same thing. Then you cross the street.
You're not allowed to tweet anymore.
At least you put your phone away.
Remember, you're banned from tweeting forever.
That's fine.
At least you're one of the people who put your phone away before you cross the street.
It depends on how long I've been in the city. After about 4 days, I stopped looking before I crossed the street.
Okay, 100% true story. And you'll know this because you probably work with somebody like this, especially Des. You know those people who have like a pager and a cell phone and a tablet and a satellite, like they need to be connected at all times? Middle of Chicago. Here goes one of those gentlemen, business suit, crossing the street. No reason to cross the street at this point, and here comes the car. He just goes, bam, and pulls out a second cell phone. I love and hate Chicago so much.
That's like an enemy in an NES game. You're driving and it's like, look out, the businessman throws a phone and that costs 2 hearts.
What phone is big enough to cost 2 hearts? That's like the Xbox controller of
Note 7.
I mean,
Hey!
New controller.
Hold on.
The Zach Morris phone.
The Zach Morris phone. Did you guys actually get an Xbox original reference?
Yeah!
I'm so proud of them. They're so old.
You're like 3 years old to me. Shut it. Hey, this thing crashed the Swiss market. My kid is 25.
And is he an honor student at such and such elementary?
I need to take now.
Oh man, see, I'm at that phase because I have 2 little sisters. I call them little, and they're going to college this year. I'm having that like fatherly moment.
you guys should meet my brother who looks exactly like me. He's just like bigger and hairier.
Yes.
Can you imagine a bigger, hairier version of me though? It's weird. That's like saying a taller, louder version of Alkali.
No, that's Andre the Giant. The man is amazing. If you ever get a chance, there's a documentary out there about Andre the Giant. That man was amazing.
He's drinking one too.
Yeah. Him holding a beer is like the rest of us holding a G.I. Joe that we're about to bore. Like, it is. But they actually, the best part of it for me was when they, because something similar, nothing to this level, obviously, he had to go in for surgery. So they asked him, like, well, we need to figure out your anesthesia, so how much does it take to get you drunk? He's like, a vodka. Like, oh, a vodka gets you drunk? Like, yes, 1 bottle of vodka gets me drunk. All right, we will get the horse anesthetic. Yeah, it was legitimately a crapshoot. Like, they interviewed the anesthesiologist, so they're just like, I'm either helping him or killing him, and I don't get paid enough to know which. Terrifying.
Did you by chance also watch the Iron Sheik documentary? Is Xander getting you into wrestling properly?
Xander is very much getting me into wrestling. He just skips through all the fights because I have a thing about watching people get hurt. And the second I found out you could just throw packs on the stage.
We watch wrestling exactly the opposite way. I only watch the fights.
So if we put the 2 of you together, we actually have one proper WWE.
One action. He can tell you the plot. I'll tell you who has like a broken leg for real at the time.
What?
He's doing this for him. His shoulder comes out of his body. And you're like, oh no.
Wasn't it the 1, 2, 3 kid who got the ring up his ass?
What?
Yeah, no, this is real. There's a gentleman called the 1, 2, 3 kid. He was a flippy guy, like super skinny, flipped all over the stage.
Oh, aerialist.
They pulled off the turnbuckle. He did a flippy stuff. Whoop, turnbuckle off what? Like blood everywhere. And he's just like, well, I'm not gay. It's
One guy, one guy.
one bite.
You're welcome.
PG-13, huh?
It was PG-13. I didn't say anything.
Okay, so on subject of documentaries, have you seen the Mr. Rogers documentary yet? No. I cried.
I can't cry that much.
It was so amazing.
I have the same thing. I don't know if I want to upset myself that much about it.
I learned so much about Mr. Rogers. Like, I thought, I'm like, oh, he's just, no, so much stuff he did was amazing. Like going in front of Congress and giving a speech, and basically there was this politician that was like, you are not getting money. And Mr. Rogers spoke for like 8 minutes and he's like, you're getting $20 million. Like, all he had to do is just go up there and go, I like to perform for children. And it's like, money!
If you do get a chance to see it, that gentleman was one of the most amazing people in the history of our country. That's unbelievable. Highly recommend it.
I found out from first, I didn't even realize he did this. After 9/11, he recorded PSAs for public television for the kids, like how to address it to them. And I was like, I don't know, at that age I wasn't watching very much on public TV, but just the fact that, you know, he came out of retirement after not doing a show for years and was like, hey, we got to talk about this. Like, there's really not anyone who addressed you know.
Basically, he took the place of the parents who were like, I don't understand how to explain the birds and the bees to my children, so now they're all furries. And he's just like, that's cool, but so is them understanding how condoms work. Let's do this, guys.
How do I explain to my children that two men could raise a baby boy in this great nation?
I mean, to be fair, you just have to do that. Two guys can raise a child. It's not that hard, parents.
The kid goes to school the next day. He's like, what did you learn last night? 2 Men and a Baby is a documentary.
And twice the dad jokes.
Oh my God. I will say the one that got me the most was, if anyone's seen it on Netflix, Wild Wild Country. Oh man. About the Sannyasins?
Look, most of that movie, you're like, yo, this cult is all right, actually.
Yeah.
Like, this cult is great, and you know what? Okay, it's a cult in that it was basically a bunch. If you took a bunch of people who think in the way that we do socially now, we're like, being gay is fine, whatever. Like, even like open relationships, that's probably not really that big of a deal. Like, we've kind of broken down our morals, and not broken down our morals, but like adjusted what like normal is. And when they all lived together as like weird hippies that only wore was like magenta. They wore like a red. They all wore red at all times. They had like afros. It's in the 70s, and somehow enough of them found each other, and they were all like scientists and hedge fund managers and doctors, and then they all just like decided to like buy a town in Oregon, wasn't it?
They didn't buy a town. They bought like 100-mile square radius ranch. They're like, what are you gonna do with it? They're like, ranch. They're like, okay, what does ranching involve? Like, you never described that. We're building a city. And they did.
And they built one of those like utopian societies that usually ends with like, oh, when are they all gonna kill themselves? That has to be how this ends, right? Yeah, literally they're going to, they're drinking the Kool-Aid and they're going to die, right? This is Joeville too. No, they're awesome, like all the way. You're like, these guys are the best people. They're having meditation classes. They're a little hippy-dippy weird, but they're completely fine. And then like the government just like destroy.
I've been working with this recently. In fact, Boozy's children started a cult on my behalf, apparently. Sorry about that, guys.
I think this is the movie that makes people libertarians.
It is.
That's a good
But
TM.
all I realized, the only difference between them and furries is that when the time came, when the going got tough, furries would say, let's band together. Let's do something about this. And they went, let's murder people.
Let's poison the town so they'll all leave and we'll win this vote.
I want to say that we would have chose differently. In the choose your own adventure of the furry fandom, the page of murder the town is stuck together. We don't need that page.
They just made them so sick that they wouldn't vote.
Like,
They were trying to kill
they didn't want to kill anyone. They're just like, well, how do we get them to not go to the voting booths? I'm like,
Well, can't vote with diarrhea. That was the whole scheme. They like poisoned a salad bar at a Haas's. Shout out to Haas's. I do not like Haas's either, sir. I agree. But shout out to Ponderosa. What's your favorite weird, like, chain buffet situation?
Oh,
Do you know, like a Golden Corral?
We used to have Ryan's, but they closed.
Yeah, right. It became OCB. OCB.
CC's Pizza.
Are you down with OCD?
CC's Pizza.
I am very partial to being accidentally locked in a Mariano's for half an hour. I'll be honest with you, that was the best buffet I've ever had. Because seriously, let me be honest with you guys, because sometimes you really need to think. Every once in a while, if you're in a situation and you don't really know what to do, take 1 minute. Take 1 minute and say, I will not act until this minute is over and I've thought it all out. I got locked in a Mariano's. And I sat there for a moment and thought, all right, they have to let me out. At the very least, they can let me out tomorrow. I have running water, I have a bathroom, and I have food. And they locked me in. I can eat whatever I want and I will win this lawsuit. All right, their turkey is delicious. Just take a minute, so you can rob a store.
So it was only half an hour?
Yeah, they came back. Yeah, I was setting off alarms everywhere.
Oh, I thought you just weren't
Like,
finishing.
I went behind the deli counter and started trying to figure out the slicer. Like, yeah, this will be fine. What are they going to do to me? I'm locked in their store. I needed sustenance, and I weigh 301 pounds.
So you became the episode of South Park where they're locked in the Papa John's. They can't eat the dough because gluten is killing everyone. It's okay, I know celiac disease is a real thing. I'm not a gluten truther. There are gluten truthers who think it's a conspiracy to make us like not eat bread or something.
It's true though.
They really are.
Yeah, no, gluten will kill you. Did you not see the documentary on South Park?
Don't you know that soy turns you into a woman?
Yeah.
That's
dude.
a real conspiracy.
Yeah,
people.
no, dude, South Park is put out by all of the people who know the truth, and they're just telling us through the lens of comedy. You've got to believe me, guys.
You sound like a soy boy.
Oh, boy.
Soy boy. That's a real thing that people will tell you on the internet. Because remember, soy has a plant estrogen in it. Unlike, milk, which has a lot of mammal estrogen.
Yeah, it comes from female cows.
So if you eat cheese, you're definitely going to turn into a lady.
Well, it's hard to come from
That's
male
how it
cows.
works.
Call me Sally, I like to eat on my
Science.
burgers.
To be fair, that's like half of my submissions on FA.
Hold on. Are you telling me that cheese turns you into a woman and gluten might kill you? Pizzas are amazing.
Pizzas will turn you into a dead woman.
And then the hearse will come to 5 different houses.
Hopefully they get the chicken parmium in 30 minutes or less.
Your telltale is very high on the corpse burning into the
I'm telling you right now, dude, this is how we do it. Cars are cheap right now. You just drive the car into a fire and you're like, bye, grandma.
But are corpses cheap right now?
Corpses are very cheap right now.
Isn't that you're a business person?
I love that you forgot my job for a moment.
Well, I don't want to just say you understand how money works.
I'm hoping that furries. Okay, no one in this room knows how money works.
Like on a macro level.
Yes.
I understand it on the
Crash
transactional
the
level.
Swiss market.
No, alright, let me explain something to you right now. You most definitely do not understand how money works on a transaction level. You ever hear those stories how the Canadian dollar is fluctuating every day? If you cross the Canadian border, one day $20 is worth $21.15. The next day it's $4. That's not their money, that's our money. Our money fluctuates too, idiots. And I cannot believe I need to explain that to people. Stop buying boats. And this was a conversation I had this week with a Fortune 500 company, and I want to kill myself.
Did you make money on it?
No, they bought a boat! What aren't you getting?
There are people in Arizona who make entire weird gated communities where they have a series of canals and what are they called? What does that town in Italy have? Yeah, what's those canals?
Oh, what, the gondolas?
So they build artificial canal systems between everyone's boring cookie cutter houses, so you can live in Phoenix and still have a pontoon boat.
You can go punting in Phoenix.
If you are old, white, and rich enough. Absolutely.
There is a building in Chicago.
And that's why the mosquitoes still exist down there. There's no natural occurring water. They would all die, and we'd have no mosquitoes in the whole valley if they would get rid of these weird pontoon transit systems.
I'm sorry, pontoon transit system?
Is there a house of terror?
Is there a pontoon public transit down there? We can take the bus or the pontoon.
PPT? Oh, tickets are oh so expensive.
I'm sure the HOA there has various pontoon regulations of you can't park your pontoon on the street. You're like, where am I supposed to park it? It's a pontoon.
So the regular one uses the mower, the express uses the motor.
I I just want to see Chicago take over a little bit of Arizona and use our parking theories on the pontoon. Just like putting chairs in the water, like, no, that's my spot now. That's how we save spots in Chicago. We just put our furniture in the street and hope no one moves it.
Only if it's snowing. That shit does not count in the springtime.
No, there are people that think it counts in the springtime. Guess what I think? I think your chair is under my car. That lazy boy is dead.
In the snow, you have paid the penalty for that spot in the labor of shoveling it out, so the chair makes sense. In the spring, summer, autumn, no.
No. And I understand why you think that, because you see the news articles of these elderly people in Chicago with 40,000 feet of snow, and they have a toothpick, and they're just like, oh, sooner or later I will have a spot. That is not how it works. They go searching for that, people. Allow me to describe to you how it works in Chicago. All right, here's my car. It's covered in snow. All right. Now there's some snow off the door. All right, the door is open. This is good. Then, start car, go inside and have breakfast. Then you get in the car, which is still covered in snow, but because you've warmed up the car, there is a small layer between the car and the legitimately 5 feet of snow on top of it. And you just start driving, just killing everyone behind you as you drive your abominable snowman downtown because the McDonald's by you is only paying $11.25 and that one pays $11.50.
And that's why I moved to Florida.
Halfway through it, I figured out where it was going.
And you know it's true because you've seen it.
No, I've done it.
You live in Arizona. Do you even know what snow is?
It's when I lived in West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing as it's a dust storm. You guys had a dust storm the other day, right?
Oh, we had a dust, apocalypse. It was real bad. There are all these, it's not even that unnatural because it's a desert and we're not supposed to live there because nothing is supposed to build a civilization in a place that doesn't have water. But we did it anyway because we wanted to make 4 mediocre professional sports organizations. Going for a 5th. Major League Soccer, look out. That's real, they're really trying to get an MLS team. Orlando has one, don't they?
Atlantic City. Yeah, you guys aren't locals.
He's got the Union down in Tampa.
But what was I talking about?
Dust storm.
Dust storm. So the dust storm is coming in, and everybody got their drones that day. So everyone's like, dust storm. Oh shit! So they fly up to these. The aerial photos are amazing because it's like a neighborhood, Saudi Arabia. Just coming in, and it's like here it is. Look out! You're gonna get fucking blown to Agrabah, you know. Phoenix metro area. It's scary. In real life, when you're on the ground, you just look out and you're like, you open your window. What's the weather like? Oh, it's looking mighty orange today. And you realize you can't see your own car, and you're like, well, if I go outside, I'll get valley fever. A real thing you get from breathing in a fungus in the haboob, which is what we call the dust storm. The haboob, which is a Middle Eastern term for dust storm. It really is. Next.
What do you do? What do you do? In Chicago,
If you're
we'll put
driving-
salt down. We'll put salt down before a snowstorm. If it's about to rain, we move because our basements are going to flood. That's just how it works. How do you guys prep for
You
a
got
dust
3
storm?
options. There's no prep because it doesn't really hurt that much unless the wind blows the shingle off the roof. It's fine.
Just flags made of dryer sheets.
I just posted a photo yesterday of a palm tree that got really big on top and was really spindly on the trunk, I guess, and in the rainstorm got blown off the top of itself like you decapitate. What's that Pokemon that's a dragon that isn't Charizard but is a tree? Executor. So it was like if an Executor got fucking decapitated and thrown into a chain link fence, and then the fence got knocked over like you were playing Half-Life 2 and you had to get in the fence and you're like, oh, let's kick this tree over. What happened? Boom! Whack! And then you run up the tree and then into the thing and you're like, boom, next checkpoint. That's what it looked like what happened. So anyway, for the haboob, all you really have to do if you're driving around, you have three options. You're the guy who pulls over and just like waits. You're the guy who sees it coming, pulls over ahead of time, goes into like just Wendy's and you just kind of hang out for a while until it goes away. Or three, you attempt to keep driving and you die. And then you're on the news, and that happens every single dust storm. About 10 people go, I choose to die, and they just do it. Whenever we flood, people are like, let's go in the underpass. Under the sea. We have a special law where if you do that, you are fined. With police, even if they have to save you, they'll charge you like thousands of dollars to get you out.
Chicago has that for if you just ignore the orange cones. Because we're Chicago. Like, legitimately, we have more orange cones and free time than you could possibly imagine. So we're just like, hey, in a year, we're going to do construction over here. Let's set up the cones. And we'll just, like, no. Like, we're Chicagoans. We just ignore everything. And sometimes it's walking, wet cement. The city of Chicago will tow your car out of the wet cement, send you a ticket for the following: ignoring the orange barrels, ignoring the signs, going into wet cement, the repair for the wet cement, towing your car. If you drive into wet cement in Chicago, it is a $2,500 grand total fine. And your car is probably ruined because this is Chicago, where we know everything is going to have fat asses like me driving on it, so all the cement is like this thick. Room scars.
Weirdly, the impression I got from Chicago, except for the driving, which is pretty insane, everyone was far nicer than they should be, even in downtown areas. Suspiciously nice.
We're robbing you.
Like, hello, sir. How are you doing today? And I'm like, is this a major metro area? Like, if you go to Boston, you're like, no one's saying, oh, how are you doing? They're just like, what? Like, it's all you get. Someone yells at you and you say, like, 6-inch white bread ham, and they're like, and they fucking throw it together and throw it at you, and if you don't have your credit card, people behind you are like, hurry up! And it's insane. Chicago is very polite. Very nice.
It is. You obviously didn't go into the sandwich shops.
Well, I know how to handle myself in a restaurant scenario. Like, I don't even enter until I know my order, like, memorized, and I'm ready, you yell it, and you just throw your money in. Good.
There is a place, I wish I could remember the name. They are notorious for figuring out a way to get their soup 1 degree below boiling. Because if you want soup, you want to take it home, and you want it to still be warm. And they started off by saying, caution, sir, madam, this is hot. At some point, they just started saying, it'll kill you. And that's how they announced that soup is up, like, it'll kill you. And it will strip skin off you. It is over 100 degrees worth of soup. We have one of those thermal thermometers at work. We got the soup, brought it upstairs. It was I don't remember the temperature, but it was murder children hot. You can fit children to the size of soup right now. Look, it's just a thing we know. Don't go there.
That's like the lady who spilled the coffee on herself and sued McDonald's.
Yeah, that doesn't work as well unless you're like a $1 billion company. The reason she got that settlement, this is true, that settlement is based off of a lot of the judge going, well, if we charge them $100,000 for this, like, they're going to laugh at us and get pocket change. So we're going to give you $56 million.
They asked for, the way they calculated it was 1 day of coffee sales. For the entirety of McDonald's in the whole world, yeah. And 1 day of coffee sales was like 59 million, whatever, $6 million. But the thing is, it's not like some lady was like doing donuts in her car, like bouncing coffee on her head, and like dumped coffee, like, oh, that hurts a little. Just give me $1 billion. Like, it was like an old lady, they were parked, they're like, uh-oh, spilled a little, and it like, to the bone, ruined her thigh. Like, they had like reconstruct her whole leg, and they're like, ah, Jesus. And like, they were parked, no one was moving, it was weird. And then they use that for torture form. So next time McDonald's burns your grandma, you can't sue anyone in this country anymore.
Excellent!
I didn't do it.
Don't blame you.
This is like the Howard Stern show if they did one clip flip per 45 minutes. You just forget that they can do it, and then it shows up again and be like, oh yeah, that's a thing that can happen at the show.
All right, everyone, at this point we have about a half hour left, so before we go on, we want to bring up one thing. There's an amazing charity that is here this weekend. They have a bunch of wonderful animals in the dealer's den. Tomorrow they're going to have even more animals in the dealer's den, and maybe those animals won't cut the crap out of me.
He got sliced by the, what was it called?
Well, we were trying to film a promo to put up online, and they're just like, well, this one's crazy. I guarantee you if you hold him, it'll be hysterical. We don't let anyone hold him. I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And we have a video of this thing mauling me with love. Unfortunately, love has claws. So don't forget, guys, what we are doing this weekend is trying to help them out. If you don't know one of their goals, they are trying to make, and this is true, a venomous animal sanctuary so that when student groups come out, when people come out to their facility, instead of talking about the venomous animals, they can actually show them to them in a place that everyone remains safe, but the venomous animals are still comfortable, because don't forget, they are animals. Yeah, they can murder us all, but they're adorable at the same time. Yes, my friend. That's coming around. So, we are going to continue going. I'm actually going to give you the hat. Just pass it that way. Thank you so much. Guys, don't forget, we are here to help those who can't help themselves. Any money you throw in the hat will eventually make its way to the charity after myself and Panda's roll in it.
You guys better donate. I'm dropping pennies in it.
Please don't put pennies in my hat.
At least use a silver change if you're going to put change.
How about rolled pennies?
I only wear 2 badges. 2 buttons. This is the penny situation button, and this is the butter situation button. Let's not let them ever happen again.
What about the oatmeal?
Tell that story.
Oatmeal. Hey, work at McDonald's. We spilled
If you would like to hear the oatmeal situation, it will be tomorrow night. It will be one of the closing stories at Tales from Con Chairs tomorrow night, 11:30 p.m. That story is my Groundhog Day. I will never not be able to tell that story. I don't know what happened that you guys love it so much. If you want to hear what we're talking about tomorrow night, 11:30. What?
DuckTales. Got John Cheadle and voice Donald. Or if you're watching Howard the Duck, Duck Tits. Woohoo.
Did you see that, by the way? Don Cheadle as the voice of Donald Duck in the new cartoon.
Yes.
I thought Doctor Who was...
No, he's... Okay, so
David Tennant.
David Tennant is doing Scrooge McDuck because he's Scottish.
Oh yeah, good point.
But they did an episode where Donald had like a translator shoved down his throat by the gadgety guy. And all of a sudden, mid-sentence, he's like, quack, 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 and now I sound like Don Cheadle. And there's behind-the-scene footage of Don Cheadle doing the lines of Donald Duck, and you're just like, this is not how this should sound. I am confused yet intrigued.
I lost my mind when I found out David Tennant was going to be Scrooge McDuck.
So,
I mean, cheer for David Tennant in general. I mean,
yeah. So this is what weirds me out about the Duck universe and Disney universe. So when you first hear Donald Duck, he talks like you would, the whole idea behind like his weird voice is that it's like, okay, I understand. It's like a duck quack plus words, like at the same time. This is what a duck speaking would sound like. And then you experience the rest of the duck world, and you realize Donald has a terrible speech impediment, and everyone else speaks perfect, clear English with Scottish accents, so there are many generations of different English accents that break off from Duck English. But Donald speaks like a psychopath, and everyone just acts like it's normal, which I guess that's what else are you gonna do?
I mean, you have Pluto and Goofy too, which just raises a whole lot more questions.
Oh, that's slavery.
Yeah, so some dogs are better than others because they walk on 2 legs and talk, and some dogs are still on 4 wars, and you treat them like normal dogs, but the ones that walk on 2 legs aren't dogs because they're people, and I just get confused, and then I realize, yeah, that's how slavery started.
Furries, thank you.
Does Pluto have like due process protections?
I'm sorry, hold on, pause.
What about
We're gonna talk this section. Does Pluto, is is he afforded due process?
Like, that's how you determine like, the level of what people as a society consider a human, right?
Someone call Boozy.
So if you're a dog, like Goofy, no doubt, if Goofy would go to regular, like he'd be booked and like go to court. Like no one would go, yeah, of course, because Goofy's like a person.
Pluto get due process? Does that make him a human?
From Disney, not the planet.
Also, that is Pluto from Disney, not the planet.
Does Pluto the planet get due process?
I mean, not that it's a planet anymore. It's more of a dwarf thing that aliens live on. Comma, but you know what I mean, period. Shut up, pandas.
Well, to be fair, I am a human, and I am not a planet. Pluto is also not a planet, therefore Pluto is a human, right?
Yes.
We're talking about you accept it. Get over it. Dwarf.
Okay, that's not how math works.
If A does not equal B and B does not equal C, then A equals C. I'm sure that's how it works.
Why are there letters in my math?
It's like philosophy 101 Dave.
Find X right there.
My ex is in prison.
Say that joke again, it was good.
Find X in prison.
His ex is in prison.
Yeah, she was very, she did not take the breakup all that well.
She killed you.
Where was your excellent now, Avie?
Is this how you got bit by the brown recluse?
Oh my god. Yeah, she sprinkled it in my closet.
I knew it.
She sprinkled you with brown.
She just sprinkled brown recluses because I got bit by.
How many did you get?
I got bit by a brown recluse twice.
I thought it was 3.
No, I got bit by a brown recluse that sent me to the hospital once, and then it got bit me twice, and it sent me to the hospital because they didn't actually extract it the second time, and they're like, "Oh, you're cleared," and then the thing broke, and I got infected again. So I was at the hospital for a grand total of a month and a half over 3 months because of that.
And this is not Pennsylvania, Florida, right?
No, this was up in Illinois.
Oh,
This was
yeah,
out-
but this is America, not the kind of place where you think there are many dangerous, poisonous animals.
This is Illinois, which is outside of the brown recluse's native habitat too. So they were like, "What the heck is this? Why is your arm falling off?" And then they had to take a sample. They're like, "Oh, those aren't supposed to be here. Someone must have brought it up." And that one was like, "There are so many layers to this cake. I don't want to eat anymore."
We need to find the terrorist. It's like an episode of 24, who's been transporting poison spiders across the state lines.
Really quick, for those of you who don't know, is there anyone out here who does not know who this is?
Who the hell are you, sir?
This is for, I can only describe him in one way, and this was one of my favorite things. A fan of his created a Twitter account called Is For Okay.
Is for injured.
Is For Injured, I'm sorry.
You forget about it, then it comes back, and you're like, oh yeah! That's an element of the performance.
Is For Injured is an account that updated once a day, and it would just say, no. No. But every once in a while, it would be, yes. And 5 minutes later, he would tweet like, well, fell off a roller coaster again.
I think the best was when I invited you to come up to the roof of the Motor City Hotel to take pictures of the fursuit parade from the roof. And he tweeted, about to go on a roof to take pictures down on the ground of a fursuit parade, and it just replied immediately afterward, give us a minute.
That account has been in existence for about 6 years now. I still don't know who the hell it is. It's terrifying because it's accurate. It's because it'll say yes and it'll be like, oh, I guess I know what my agenda is today.
I think you have multiple personalities. One of them who just gets injured a lot is like, I'll show him.
All hers. It's sick.
Okay, fun fact. Did you know that I had a hearse when I was growing up? My first car I had to learn to drive was a hearse. Completely 100% true story. I learned how to drive in a hearse. A Cadillac Deluxe model hearse, which meant the backside was like all padded, so the coffin was comfy for when you were in the back.
Why does it need to be comfy? Because deluxe models.
Yeah.
Because it's
No, so
they get pretty. They don't know.
So my father ran a very successful roofing company. He sold roofs, he sold shingles, he sold and he sold a lot of vinyl siding. Vinyl siding is 16 foot long, and my dad needed to get this vinyl siding from his warehouse to the client sites. So normally people would buy a truck. Normally people would buy maybe even a really big pickup truck or a box truck or some kind of semi-trailer. No, my dad was looking around. He wanted a deal. So he spent $3,000 on a hearse, which is on the inside, when you take out the back row of seats, 16 foot long. So my father, I remember all growing up, would take a hearse filled with building supplies to a new house to deliver shingles and building supplies and roofing stuff. And I thought that was totally normal. When I saw a hearse going down the street, I'm like, oh, they're just going to a construction site. When my grandma died and a hearse shows up, and I'm like, they couldn't get us I thought it was like an ambulance, but no. I'm like, why are they shoving her in where they put the building supplies?
Wow.
Yeah, so I both had to mourn my grandma and learn how the world really worked when I was like 16. That was a really awkward conversation.
That seems to be one of those things that parents just go, like, you're like, what is that? And they'll go, it's a hearse. And they just like shrug. It never occurs to them that you wouldn't know what it is.
I've had so many of those like weird little moments. Like I remember very, very clearly, I was 12 years old when I realized that deer weren't baby horses.
You thought they just lost their horns inevitably at some point?
I just thought that they got they stayed that way, and then 20 years later they turned into horses. And I was like, you want to know how I found out? I asked, when were you allowed to not shoot deer anymore? And they were like, well, you can't shoot does. I'm like, no, but is there a mark? Do they lose their horns and then they get big enough and then you just take them to a ranch and they're like, what are you talking about? 12-year-old me, on my first hunting trip in Wisconsin, learned that deer and horses were two separate species.
Like, how do they pick which deer get to go to the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah,
I want to see the Kentucky Derby run with deer now.
They would go into the audience immediately, they would show up the wall.
The Kentucky Derby.
You met Beardo the Magnificent John recently at my place. Larger gentleman, did a little grilling, started the fire.
I believe you that I did.
Okay, good. We're on the same page, just different books. Well, this gentleman, we are close friends. So sometimes our families go on vacation together. Now his wife, Diana, is amazing. Just the most innocent, delicate little flower of doom that she is the flower from Undertale that will kill you, but you go, aw. She decided we were going to go to a deer sanctuary.
Is she also secretly a kind of sexy goat demon man?
She could be. Also, she would not like you calling her man, but I know where you were going. We went to a deer sanctuary. And this deer, I've been to sanctuaries before, animal sanctuaries. They're behind fences. And you feed them through the fence and they're just like, swing low. And then they eat the crackers. That's how you go to jail. They're just eating crackers through the fence. No, this place was just like, fences, here's some deer. Here's some crackers. They will fight you for that crap. You're like, cool. So there's Diana, little, tiny, 5'6" Diana, who has purchased 4 bricks of deer feed and put them in her purse. She is surrounded by no less than 50 deer who are trying to distract her because she has decided which deer is the cutest because this deer got up on its hind legs and fell over. And she said, Thank you. That is the sound a deer makes when it falls over. Now you learned something today.
More do you know?
Well, she decided that deer obviously needed more food because it's special. The rest of the deer got angry and went after the food bricks in Diana's purse. And none of us intervened until John looked over and saw the deer with his wife's wallet that they'd had taken out of her purse and was just robbing her. And John, now bear in mind, John is a little bit shorter than me. At the time, he was much larger than he is now. He's like, well, I'm not putting up with this, and did this. Apparently, that is signal for the deer to panic. We caused a 75 deer stampede. Now, animals are wonderful. Have you seen a cat jump and land on its feet? How graceful. How beautiful. This was like watching the Indy 500 when a child is on the track. Just bam! None of the deer had any idea where any of the other deer were, and they just three-stooged themselves into each other. They're just colliding and collapsing and falling down hills and totally okay. And the woman in charge just walked, and we're not even talking about, this isn't new. She still had the cigarette in her mouth. Stop it. And that's when we realized deer are way bigger badasses than any of us. If I'm in a car accident, hell, if I fall down on the street, I need 5 minutes to collect myself. These deer collided into each other, into a 50 deer pileup, and the second they got their bearings, they went right back to Diana to get more food. That's my deer story.
Oh shit, we need to think of deer story. I told my deer story, your deer story, your guys' turn.
I'm imagining one deer, like, crouching down like this, and then another deer pushing a deer over him.
That's Terrell.
Terrell, nice.
They three-stooged themselves, and like, that's what that means.
They did, they three-stooged themselves. Would you guys like to hear a sad story?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell
Can
you.
I have another alcohol?
So,
They said
yes, yeah, I have two.
a few, not a one.
I have 2 bottles for you backstage.
I got Genny. Pepper.
What? Put it on front of the
I had a
stage.
friend who I met at a convention, a deer. First time I ever met him, this is years ago. And we really hit it off. It was at XVII, the first time we ever met, actually. So we went to XVII, I met this gentleman, he's a deer, we hit it off, we hung out the whole weekend. The day after the convention, we're still talking with each other. 2 days after the convention, he stops talking to me. Week goes by, I send him a message. Month goes by, I send him a message. Nothing. I'm like, it was fun while it lasted. 2 months later, I get a message. Really sorry for the radio silence, I was hit by a truck.
Whoa!
The message I sent to him was, ha 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 ha, like over and over, and then he sent me the picture of him nearly dead in the hospital. He has a bunch of metal where his bones used to be now, and to this day, we still think it is the funniest damn thing that he chose deer and was immediately hit by a truck. It was his first interaction with the furry fandom. He's like, I am now a furry, I choose deer, truck. These guys are serious. When you pick a persona, you live that shit.
That's like if a college-age hipster put you on a leash and walked you around a park. Alkali's a ferret. That's why this is a joke.
That was wonderful, thank you.
Have you seen the hipsters with their fudging ferret harness? And the ferret will run, and it seems very uncomfortable, the whole situation.
Pick him on the nose and stop biting you.
Because he's in like a public park with dogs and things, and it's creepy I imagine, for a ferret.
You forget, I live right next to a disc golf course. I've seen a ferret play fetch. Do you remember those little novelty discs? Like you get it at McDonald's with your Happy Meal, they're about this big.
To play fetch.
Yeah, it's a frisbee this big. And I watched the guy throw it, and I'm like, what is moving? Oh my God, he's playing fetch with his ferret. And like a true ferret, he grabbed the little frisbee and he's like, well, this is mine now, and just ran into the distance. And the guy's like, well, and just sauntered after his ferret. I didn't know how to feel about that, but I really wanted to play frisbee. Also, that is not the beer I brought you, so you just stole that from someone.
No, you didn't. I gave it to him.
Oh, okay.
I can't find your Visibeers anywhere.
There's a huge sign that says "For Pepper, don't drink, alkali." I mean it.
Oh.
Is this like that note you left? Like, don't forget this merchandise in the hotel.
I have all of your merchandise at my house.
With Invisibeer now. This needs to be a thing.
Invisibeer?
Invisibeer.
If you drink enough beer, that's how you pee it back out. It is clear. If you drink shitty light beer, I'm so close.
This is gross, but how much alcohol is in your pee if you're very, very drunk? Or is the answer 0?
A lot.
Is there?
Dude, I need you to not ask me how I am aware of the answer. I need you to promise me you will not continue down this line of questions.
Is it possible that you could get very, very... Children, please drink responsibly.
I really like right before this, can we pause for 1 second? I like how the audience, like half the people have realized where this is going and their faces are just like, and the other people are in for a wild ride. Continue.
I keep starting the question over. If you're the world's biggest, weirdest, cheapest weirdo, and you're like, let us 2 get drunk for the price of 1, and drank an insane amount of alcohol, and then peed, and then someone else, could you both get drunk?
Yes. The answer to the question is yes, and this is how we change topics. So, AV just played a sound clip. It was just a woman screaming. Who here has seen? I can't see your hands. Who here has seen The Exorcist?
Yeah.
There is a line in The Exorcist where the priest screams out, "Ah, Jesus Christ, kill it." Now you need to think all the way back to the days of, and Pepper, you're old enough for, as Napster.
Oh!
That should be right at the end of your...
I was old enough to have seen it on the news.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not a computer in my house.
Yeah,
I remember it now.
So that's how we illegally pirated music when I was in college. And I had the biggest collection of songs on the floor because everyone would give me their stuff because I had the big computer. I had the one with the most memory. So I had 400 plus tracks. And in the middle of them was a sound file that was formatted to no matter what you had your volume set at full blast, it would go, "Ah, Jesus Christ, kill it!" Very loud. And break speakers. And we would always listen to the playlist on shuffle. There is not a single moment in my college career that we wouldn't be playing D&D and this would. Then the orc walks into the room, his sword drawn, blood dripping. "Ah, Jesus Christ, kill it!" For the longest time. And that is how we played D&D. We actually came up with rules for when Jesus Christ Kill It came out, because it was 1 in 450. So like death would appear for a moment and have a one-liner before vanishing. It was just a thing we do.
I need to go home. I need to go back to my room and vigorously download some stuff because I have a DJ set tomorrow night.
I believe you can't play Scary Monsters and Nice Slams. The blend of Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites and, what do you think it is? Space
Come on,
Jam.
this way!
Okay, so I have my collection So, you
Remember
know,
that time how at 3 in the morning I called you and said, Fur, I need all of your mixes that include the song Space Jam, and you're like, give me a minute.
Did Boozy ever get back to you?
He has not, and I've messaged him and his wife.
Quick, how old is the oldest kid?
He does not give me the Twitter handles of his children. He's a smart man. His kids started chanting blood ritual during one of my panels. I am not a good godfather.
The youngest kid, the one not even in school yet. That is the word they have chosen to start speaking now that they can talk. Blood ritual.
I really wish it was his first word, but according to Boozy, it was mommy, daddy, food, then blood ritual. Which is the correct order of operations in this generation, I think.
You gotta start them young.
With the blood ritual.
With your blood ritual.
Gentlemen, ladies, and other.
we use the term loosely.
Except for other. Hats off to any of you who have the balls to be like, no, I have chosen not to have a gender. And we go, awesome.
The only thing I think English does need to make up a thing for is a gender-neutral term for like when you need to talk to someone who you don't know. Because you need to go like either excuse me, sir, or excuse me, you can't just go excuse me. And one of my friends was like, oh, I just say, your majesty. Excuse me, your majesty. Like, it's
I need to know something. Were you at that game of Kings? Oh, you weren't. Good, we'll play that tonight. So who here knows what Kings is? I can't see your hands. Oh, good, I can hear you. Kings is a game, a drinking game that whenever a king comes up, as you choose from every card of the deck, you need to make a rule. And one of the rules was that whenever you have somebody drink, you must refer to them as your majesty. So the game started with us not very inebriated as your majesty. Well, we played 5 rounds, and the final rule in every single game was, rules carry over till next round. Pepper, to close out the show, I would like to refer to each of you as we would have during that game. Guys, I'd like a huge round of applause for our first guest. Let's give it up for Pepper Coyote. You better do it. Next, over to my whatever side this is. I've been getting drunk for a little while and I forgot the left, right, up, down, and center. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Fur! And finally, a very close hand line, the second head of the three-headed monster. Guys, if you liked our stand-up, if you want to hear more, at this gentleman's table, they have been kind enough. They have been just unbelievable friends to sell the Dragon Show, which is my podcast, and the Three-Headed Monster, which is myself, Pandez, and Xander's stand-up. If you would like a copy of our Insanity, please head over to their table tomorrow and buy some of their stuff, and they'll throw one of my CDs at you to make you go away. Ladies and gentlemen, the second head of the Three-Headed Monster, Lord Pandez! And I wish I could do the final one for you. But every once in a while, the universe smiles on you, and I want to leave you all with this story. Because this story is a moral. Remember those morals? We had them before we got onto the stage. Breakfast cereal? There's a moral breakfast cereal?
Honey bunches of morality.
Cinnamon toast morals. Sorry, for French toast morals.
French toast morals. We had played 5 rounds of King's Cup. Now I have a rule, we play Kings, there are 2 versions of King's Cup. One with waterfall and one without. The second to last rule in the second to last game was waterfall is active. If you don't know what waterfall is, it's nice and simple. If you draw a card, everybody starts drinking, and you cannot stop drinking until the person to your right stops drinking. It's murder in a bottle.
If you play with our kinds of friends, yes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
If you play with regular human beings, it'll be like, and it's over. Your friends will be like, all right, let's go, and like finish a 3-gallon Sunny D jug of rum and coke.
I'll play Kings tonight.
Vikings?
Kings.
Dude, I'm gonna lose, but sure.
You're in? You're in? Yeah, you're in. You're in.
After his show.
You're supplying the booze. Don't fucking point to him. I almost made it through. We get one.
I think I took the one earlier.
This is how, no, you didn't. Shut up. Okay. This. Hold on.
Okay, while he's looking at his phone, what time is your show tonight, sir?
Our show is at 10 o'clock. It's in panel room 1.
Yeah.
It'll be around over there.
I'll bring the bear.
Yeah, it'll be
Or the
nice.
meat.
We go from 10 o'clock till about 11.
Yeah, we're gonna-
11:30.
We'll be in here with them, guys. If you've never seen it, Fox and Pepper, an unbelievably amazing
After dark?
It's a show with original music, by the way. That's what the show is. It's not like she's
Very original.
I'm bringing my toga.
It's the AB version, so you need to be 18 to go. But if you're here, you probably can handle it. But we're gonna swear a little bit and drink a little bit. And
A little?
I'll bring the booze. Hey, do me a favor, everyone, if you would, for me. These guys have been around in the fandom for quite some time now. I had the pleasure and the honor of meeting this gentleman on a solo performance at MCFC years ago. Let's fill up this room for them. I guarantee you there will not be a single person in this room who doesn't think it's worth it. They are an amazingly talented band. They have amazing music, and we're going to use that to collect some money for charity. So guys, do a good cause, go to a good panel, get your friends over here and watch Fox and Pepper. And before I tell you the answer, of course, I would like to mention that Fur will be DJing Saturday night at midnight. Saturday night, midnight in this room. I think Fur will be DJing. Myself and Pandez will be around the convention. And the answer to your previous question, a very important question for you: does Pluto get due process? Also, does that make him a human? Also, that Pluto from Disney, not the planet. I mean, not that the planet anymore. I'm so drunk. It's more of a dwarf thing that aliens live on, but you know what I mean. Shut up, Pandez. Boozy's response: Pluto is Goofy's special child. They don't talk about it, but it's true. And I quote from one of the hands-down smartest people I have ever met in my life. He's the Corky of the Disney universe. I love you, Boozy. I absolutely love you. Before I give you this final piece of wisdom to go out on, I will let you know, we usually like to announce at the end of the panel how much you made. Guys, you are just shy of $150 that we have raised for charity. Thank you so much. I will, if you so choose, if you want to talk to anybody or throw more money in the hat, we will put this up here, but I'm going to finish this off with a single, very short story, and that is, I don't know, did you just steal money? Running away from the hat, I have to assume things. And that is, of course, you were the first one to come up. I'll trade you. Your Majesty, that's for you. Thank you.
I've been late again. Yeah, you got late.
That is the 5th round of King's Cup during the Your Majesty rule. Because the 4th king came up, and if you play kings the proper way, once the 4th king comes up, the game is over. And we have been screaming, and I mean screaming, no microphone for a second, this is the full volume of how we were doing it on the 13th floor of some random hotel. And that is how we were communicating with each other. And a good friend of mine, thank you, my friend, thank you so much. Hold on, oh, friend! This is mine now. A good friend of mine went for the final Your Majesty.
A friend of yours is called Jack King.
Ooh, good. Thank you. Good is not on the floor.
Alkali.
Well, one moment. We finished off the game, the 4th king drawn, and my friend went, Your Majesty! And ended the game with a torrent of vomit that can only be described as somebody opened the fire hose. He washed the cards off the table, but the cup of booze in the middle was still standing. And yes, and almost as if to say, "No, I'm okay," he reached to the center of the vomit-covered table, grabbed the cup, and said, "Your Majesty," as he was cocking a gun.
Yeah.
As he was bringing the cup to his lips, my mate, the love of my life, smacked it out of his hand onto the table. And our friend said, "You made a mess." And he goes, "No, you did." Drink responsibly, have a good time, know your limits, most importantly, enjoy the convention, guys. I love